What's up, gamers? It's Above, back with another video, this time with the updated Insight Terminus GM guide for Season of the Splicer. In this video, I'll be covering everything you need to know, including team comp, loadouts, controlling ad spawns, and how to make the hectic boss room significantly easier. This week's adept weapon is the Hung Jury, along with any adept mods you have yet to collect. Let's get into it. Starting with my recommended team comp, we ran one Well of Radiance Warlock with Phoenix Protocol, one Shadebinder Warlock with Eye of Another World, and one Revenant Hunter running Aeon Swifts. Well is used to keep your team safe during key choke points throughout this Nightfall, while Eye of Another World provides faster ability regen for all of your stasis abilities. This synergizes perfectly with the stasis turret that comes from the Bleak Watcher aspect, as it is incredibly strong for ad control in this Grandmaster. The Aeon Gauntlets, with the Sect of Insight mod equipped, are used to keep your team stocked up on heavy ammo. I want to note that there's a lot more flexibility with team comp in this week's GM when compared to Glassway. Chaos Reach with Geomag Stabilizers and Banner Shield with Ursa Furiosa are also solid options, depending on how aggressive or defensive you want to play in this Nightfall. As for weapon loadouts, I recommend anti-barrier scout rifles, as the majority of the engagements in this Nightfall are fairly long range. I also recommend 3 Blinding Nade GLs and 3 Anarchy. Blinding Nades are used to suppress the large wave of ads and limit ad spawns throughout this Grandmaster. I'll be showcasing this later in the video. I would normally recommend just 1 Blinding Nade grenade launcher, but with how fast we were baking champions with Breach and Clear, I don't think snipers are necessary at all. Anarchy is ideal for Kargan, as it's an extremely mobile boss with high ad density surrounding it, so having the ability to stick the boss with Anarchy and then focus on ad clear makes the boss room much easier. If you don't have Anarchy at your disposal, Izanagi's Burden and Divinity or Wither Horde are all solid options. Key armor mods for this GM include Anti-Barrier Scout Rifle and Unstoppable Grenade Launcher, Taking Charge and Protective Light for a 50% damage resist when your shields are broken, and Solar Resist and Concussive Dampener to prevent getting one-shot by snipers and grenades. Even though this boss does void damage, the attack will still kill you almost instantly, even with void resist inside of a well. I also recommend Grenade Launcher Finders and Scabs, and Breach and Clear to debuff the boss and champions by 30%. Jumping right into the Nightfall, the first room will contain 3 barrier champions, 2 of which are guarding the first hallway as you enter. Start by blinding the Void Minotaur at the back of the room, as its void splash damage can really hurt when you're trying to focus on the barriers. Shift your focus to the barrier directly in front of you, and once dead, kill the second barrier on the left. Push up, blind the second Void Minotaur, and clear ads before focusing on the third and final barrier at your top left. Get a finisher here to restock on ammo. The next room is pretty simple. Throw your stasis turret and dust field grenades to suppress the group of Cabal in front of you, take them out, then shift your focus to the barrier champion and snipers on the cliffside across from you. Have 2 people focus on the champion, while your third teammate focuses on snipers. Once dead, clear the remaining ads, and we're moving on. Next up, we have the plate encounter. As you step on the plate, drop your stasis turret in front of you and use your dust field grenade to freeze ads as they come out of the portal. As long as you keep at least 1 ad alive when you're done capturing the plate, the unstoppable champions won't spawn at all. So freeze and blind the ads, and once the plate is done capturing, clear the ads and you're moving on. I want to note that this does not impact platinum rewards whatsoever. The next encounter is by far the longest of the entire Nightfall. The objective is to deposit 2 arc charges at the back of the room to open the large door. As you enter, watch out for the pools of Vex Milk on the ground, as they are extremely lethal, then focus on the ads to your left. Pop a well behind the first pillar and clear the trash mobs and barrier champion. To progress the encounter, simply shoot Kargan once, then back up to where you entered the room and prepare for the next wave of ads. The next wave will contain 1 barrier champion, 1 unstoppable champion, and another wave of trash mobs. We like to pre-plant Anarchy on the portal to our close right, giving us time to scan the room for the location of the first barrier. This champ will spawn randomly out of one of the 4 portals at each corner of the room. The unstop spawns out of a drop pod in the very center, and typically doesn't aggro you unless your team is walking into his line of sight. In this case, the barrier champ spawned at the portal to our far right, where one of my teammates was waiting to take him out. The rest of the ads will filter into the open space in front of you, so use your blinding GLs and stasis abilities to keep them under control. Once dead, move to the center of the room where the first unstoppable champion will be waiting for you. The unstop will drop the first arc charge you need to dunk at the back of the room. Wait to pick it up until you've cleared the barrier champion and gladiators guarding the deposit. Once dead, have one person move up and deposit the orb, while the rest of your team heads back to the portal closest to where you entered to prepare for the next wave. As you work towards obtaining the second arc charge, everything from the previous wave is essentially doubled. This time, there will be 2 barrier champions that that spawn in alongside the first unstop. It's important to note that when you kill the unstoppable champion, another barrier champion and set of ads will spawn in. This means that you want to keep the unstop alive until all other threats are eliminated, then take out the unstoppable champion. The unstop will drop an arc orb once you kill him, so leave this orb on the ground while you clear the wave that spawns. Once clear, move up to the center of the room, where this time you will see two barrier champions guarding the arc deposit, one directly below you and one hiding behind the pillar on the left. You can take them out from a distance, then push up and deposit the orb to progress to the boss fight. This encounter has caused teams a lot of issues, and I'll admit that it can be hectic if you don't know how to control the ad spawns. Start by hopping on the center plate and throw your stasis turret out to begin freezing enemies as they push towards you. Since all three of you are running blinding nades, you can simply blind everything that doesn't get frozen. Once the plate is captured, the boss will become damageable. Make sure that all three of you focus on sticking Anarchy to Kargan right away, as there's a short window where the boss stands still and is easy to stick. Make sure that you use your blinding grenades, stasis abilities, and supers to stay alive here. You'll want to be constantly moving, as the boss's void attack will one-shot you even inside of a well. Once the boss reaches the 50% health gate, it will become shielded once again. To progress the fight, all three plates will need to be captured. This can be difficult for teams, as you're typically trying to capture each plate solo while large waves of ads are pushing towards you. But this is where the blinding nades and stasis go huge. When you kill the legionaries, it spawns in additional waves of ads, even if you haven't completely cleared the last wave. This leads to teams getting overwhelmed and wiping in the boss room. To avoid this, as the boss gets close to the 50% health gate, get ready to step on all three plates simultaneously as quick as possible. This will start progressing the plate before ads spawn in. Throw your stasis turret and blind as many ads as you can. And if you do this correctly, you should only have one wave of ads spawn and all three plates will get captured right away, making Kargan damageable yet again. Stick Anarchy to the boss and continue damaging and clearing ads until Kargan dies, making the Insight Terminus Grandmaster Nightfall a GG. If you found this guide useful, a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated. I also stream GM help several days a week over at twitch.tv/above, so feel free to swing on by the stream. That's it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace!